In the world of sound. In the world of sound. And now we have constructed a square. A square.
Garbage.
What's up everybody, I'm Seth Fowler and today I went sneaker shopping in Philadelphia. The first place I stopped by was Ubik, which is actually probably my favorite Philadelphia sneaker store, and that's just because of the crazy selection that they do have. Today was a little bit slower, but they did have some pretty cool gems. Of course I hit up the Jordan Wall. You gotta see what's going on with Jordans. Nothing too crazy. They did have a lot of the Gatorade collection, which I thought was cool. Then I found this pair right here, which was different to say the least. It kind of looks like a Nerf pair of sneakers. I'm not sure what it is. If you guys know, make sure to leave a comment in the comment section down below because I'm kind of interested to know. Not a shoe that I would ever buy, but something I'm interested in knowing more about. And of course, on the other side of the room, you had the Adidas Wall, and they did have a pretty good selection. A lot of it's stuff that we've seen before, like these triple black EQTs, which I actually thought were going to sell out, but didn't, which I'm surprised about. Then, of course, you had this pair of Ultra Boost mids, and it was from that pack, like the Packer Soul Box collection, which I think is a really cool pack and actually really clean overall. This isn't my favorite Ultra Boost mid, but it's definitely not a bad looking pair, and it's nice to see them sitting some places, so if people missed out, they can grab them now. This is sort of a soccer-inspired sneaker. I'm not sure exactly the name of it, but it definitely looks relatively comfortable. It kind of looks like the ACE or ACE 16 Pluses. And then this final shoe right here is not, I'm not even sure if it's an Adidas sneaker, to be honest with you. I don't think it is. I'm not sure what the brand is. I couldn't figure it out because there wasn't a tag on it. That material in the back that looks like Boost actually isn't. It's just sort of some molded rubber. So I thought it was an interesting shoe to take a look at. Next, I went over to the Nike Wall, and they had this pair of Air Force 1 270s or Air Force 270s. I don't remember exactly what they're called. Definitely a different shoe. I don't like that colorway, I'm going to be honest. They had some triple white Vapor Maxes, which were pretty clean, some triple white Air Max 98s, and then the Vapor Max 2.0s, which is a shoe that I might grab if you guys really want to see a review. It does seem pretty similar, but there are a couple small differences, like adding a stronger heel cup. You had more Air Max 270s in the olive and in the light bone colorway, definitely a clean shoe. And then the sort of surprise of the day were these custom-made one-of-one sneakers. They had Dunks, they had Air Max 1s, beautifully made. I love this Dunk. It's in the bread colorway. It's got pony hair. It's got snake skin. It's really, really well put together. I think it's a gorgeous-looking shoe, and I love the colorway. Beautifully done sneakers. And apparently what you do is you give the customizer the sole of the shoe, and then he already has the patterns for the uppers of the shoe, so he rebuilds the sneaker just like Nike would, except in these beautiful premium materials. And I've got to say, these shoes were incredible. I was afraid to touch them. I don't even know if I was allowed to touch them, but they were an incredible, incredible looking sneaker. And any one of those I would have been happy to have, but I'm sure the price is $1,000 or more. I can guarantee it. Then I hit up the upstairs portion of Ubik, which is also a really clean area of the store. It's got some really nice lifestyle pieces, and of course they've got their pretty robust Vans selection, which I've got to say is really nice looking. Unlike some of the Vans stores that have more of just the classic authentics and things like this had more of like the premium sort of leather shoes, which looked really nice. They also had some foam posits and of course some Inikis, but I thought it was kind of interesting because they had both the Iniki and the I5923, which I mean are exactly the same sneaker, except the name is changed because of some legal reasons. I'm not sure exactly what the deal was there. Interesting to see them next to each other though. Then they also had some Adidas basketball shoes, which were sort of the special edition day one versions. And then I met this really great clothing designer named Ravi. You should check out his stuff at Pinky Rings on Instagram. Super cool stuff, all cut and sew, very well done. Then I was surprised to find a pair of Alien Stompers in my size in both the yellow colorway and in the black colorway. I think they came in a pack. These are the pairs that came out I think a couple months ago, and it's not really a shoe that I could ever see myself wearing, but I was definitely surprised to see this pack sitting, and I think my size was the last size that they had. This patent leather colorway was definitely bright and definitely out there, but you know what? It's a clean looking Reebok with a great history, so not a bad shoe overall, but it was $320 for the pack, so not exactly something I'm really looking to spend that kind of money on right now. The next place I hit up was Villa, and Villa has a lot of different stores within Philadelphia, so you'll see I hit up one or two of them in this video. This was the Villa right next to Broad Street and City Hall, and they had a pretty decent selection. I'm usually pretty impressed by their selection in store. They also have a great selection online too. I'm sure you guys have heard of them, RU Villa. The thing that really impressed me most was that there was a lot of great sneakers at clearance prices, which is pretty incredible. They also had this pair of Dornbecker Huaraches, which is not a pair that I'd seen in person. I might have seen it at the Nike store actually, but it's Braden's pair of Huaraches. Definitely a clean looking shoe, not exactly my style, but I love the story behind the sneaker, and I love that Nike works with Dornbecker. I think that's so cool. They did have a pretty decent selection of Jordans, none of the new releases, which have surprisingly sold out, and that really took me by surprise. This week's and last week's pairs kind of blew me away that they sold out, but still clean pairs nonetheless. Of course, you had the Chutney Lows, and they were going for 119 bucks, definitely something to consider. Also, this pair of $70 Crazy Explosive 2017s, which is an excellent basketball shoe and one you should definitely check out, especially for that price. I happened to find another Villa when I was walking to the next place that I was going to, and they also had Crazy Explosives for a really great price. A pretty solid Adidas collection, and then this was sort of a big surprise to me. They had this pair of NMD XR1s in the OG colorway for $109. I have never seen a pair on sale for that price, to be honest with you. I know there are pairs going for pretty low, but nothing that low, at least that I've seen. The Jordan selection was pretty decent as well. They had some stuff like the City of Flight 9s, which are definitely a clean all-star sneaker, and one that I'm surprised that was slept on because it definitely is a really clean shoe, and one that I may pick up if I find it in like the clearance rack or on sale or something like that. They also had this pair of metallic red ones, which is a super clean shoe for $109. I ended up getting my pair of metallic blues for $89, so I might sit and wait and see if I can get those for a little bit cheaper, but we'll see. The next place that I hit up was Lapstone and Hammer, another really great high-end sneaker store. They also had a really great Adidas selection. As you can see, there was a pair of triple white Ultra Boost mids. They had all sorts of Jordan stuff that, you know, honestly, it shouldn't be sitting. Let's be real. Like, they had this pair of Bulls Over Broadway 10s, which, I mean, I think came out like 3 or 4 years ago, and I'm surprised to see sitting there. They had the Equality 1s, another clean sneaker. It's definitely an interesting concept. It's sort of got this split look with the black and white colorways. You had a nice selection of Air Maxes and Vapor Maxes and Huaraches and things like that. They also had this pair of Prefirs in sort of this dyed colorway. I don't know exactly what this shoe is. I know I've seen it somewhere on Twitter, but it's not a shoe that I'm really considering picking up. A surprise for me was that they actually had the Air Monarchs, and I'm telling you, this shoe is coming back. I don't really love that black and red colorway. Everyone seems to like it better. I reviewed that pair right there, but the shoe's coming back, and the fact that it's sitting at Lapstone and Hammer, kind of surprising because they're definitely more of a boutique store. They also had the Maroon Sixes, which was another pretty big surprise. I remember when these came out a year or two ago, and they sold out pretty quickly. They also had the Bordeauxs, which another shoe that shouldn't be sitting. I don't know why these are here. Maybe they got a small restock. I'm not sure what the deal is, but definitely a clean shoe. Then they had this really nice sort of well-lit area in the back with all marble floors, and they're more high-end stuff. This is a pair of Adidas soccer shoes, I would assume. I've never seen those before in my life. They had the Comme des Garçons Play Converses, which is a pair that I should probably get eventually. It's something that I need. And then the last place that I hit up was Foot Locker on Chestnut Street. They had a pretty decent selection of Lebrons, a lot of actually really great colorways. Nothing I really needed though. I also checked out the Jordan Wall, and they had some nice Westbrook colorways as well. They had a decent selection of stuff like those Reverse Motorsport 4s, a shoe that I haven't seen around a lot of places. They had the Chinese New Year 6s, not exactly my thing, but not a bad shoe. They also had these 31s in the Chicago colorway with the Chicago skyline underneath. Definitely a great shoe. They also had this colorway of the Lebron Fifteens that just dropped. It's sort of this pink salmon colorway. Definitely a clean looking shoe, but not something that I need. And then, kind of surprising again, was the fact that they had Air Monarchs here too. I'm not as surprised here as I was with Lapstone and Hammer, but when I was actually trying to buy my pair to review, I couldn't find them anywhere. So I think they know that the hype is building up and they're starting to stock them. They had this pair of Ultra Boosts that kind of look like the Chinese New Year colorway, which I actually really like, and it's got that black outsole, which I like even better. They had a pair of the tan Ultra Boosts with the sort of nylon cage, which I think is definitely an interesting touch. Not exactly my colorway. It's a little too simple for me, but not a bad looking sneaker overall. And then the last thing that I saw was this pair of $79 or $80 EQT 9317s with Boost. Definitely a clean shoe. But that pretty much wrapped it up for my sneaker shopping day in Philadelphia. Thank you guys so much for watching. Make sure to give this video a big thumbs up if you liked it. Subscribe to me if you haven't yet, and have a good one.